Hi guys, tuning in for this week's update on learning to day trade penny stocks on the US market. Happy to say I've had a really good week on the market. We're still in a fader market, but I've taken a 31% gain, an 18% gain, and two 15% gains. So gonna show one of the trades which was a first green day bounce setup, and it was a swing trade, so a bit unusual for first green day bounce, which is why I think it's good to cover. So I'll show that one and a couple of others. Let's go to the chart. So ticker was EKSO. This is the daily chart over here, and this was a first green day bounce swing trade. So this is its day one here. A nice run up, and then 2 days of red. Tried to bounce on this day and then sort of continued its bounce at the next day. So go into the intraday. Right, so this is its day one. That's on the 5-minute time frame, and then a pullback on day two. Again on day three, and then this is the day I'm trying to play it for a bounce. So why I'm looking at this is it's had a big run. It's had a nice retracement. You can see it's based here, same area where it had support pre-market on its day one, and yeah, no, that's generally the gist of it, and also a nice volume drop off as well. So if I go to the 1 minute time frame, so this is pre-market on the day, and ideally I'm waiting for it to have a little bit more liquidity and to risk off this low here. So we can see when I didn't actually get any pre-market, and I do like to enter these trades pre-market a lot of the time. Having said that, a lot of traders in the Rolling Wolf community will trade it when markets open to see what it's doing, or to see when it pushes above yesterday's close. So there's many different ways you can play this trade, and wait until market opens, or waiting for it to push above yesterday's close is perhaps a more safer option because you've got a bit more confirmation behind it. But for me, I think if the setup's there and I can get in with good risk reward, then pre-market is where I want to take it if it allows me. So I didn't get in on pre-market, as I said. I waited till market open just because I didn't feel there was enough liquidity there, and also I wanted to risk off this low. It felt a little bit, I thought it might come down a bit more. So I waited till market open, and then I had to change my risk level to yesterday's close because you can see it just wanted to push right out of the gate. So I got in on probably the first or second candle around, I think it was like 792, something like that. Can't remember exactly. And then it started to push. Tried again. Failed this area, this 850 area, and then it came back down, and I'd set my stop just below this green line, and I got stopped out. So I still had eyes on it because I felt the setup was very much there, and then when it reclaimed this area, I jumped back in around, again I can't remember exactly, I think it was like 797, something like that. And then, yeah, it held well above my risk. I was expecting a bounce straight away, which it didn't do, which is quite unusual. And I just let it play out. And as I could see throughout the day, it was still holding well above my risk area. So I would never normally swing a first green day bounce play. That is normally a 1 day move in and out. But because it had held above red-green now for the entire rest of the day, and the setup was there, and it hadn't reached the potential that it had to bounce, and it was closing well above my risk, I thought this is one to swing because it's likely going to continue its bounce the next day. So I held that. I don't like holding stocks overnight, especially these volatile penny stocks, which can be quite dangerous. But I did, and then the next day, can see that it actually went up to my PTs. I was actually hoping this would go as far as 1020 at least, probably a bit further actually if I zoom out. Yeah, this 1093 area, but I got out, my best sell was like 959, somewhere around here, and I took an 18% gain on this trade, and then it didn't actually go too much further. Granted, I would have had to hold it again, which I wasn't going to do, and then it kind of pushed a bit more to that 10 area. But yeah, I'm really happy with that trade. As I say, wouldn't normally swing a first green day bounce, but I did, and yeah, happy with the percentage gains. I do feel that these bounces aren't giving as much as they would in a hot market. I'm having to lower my profit targets. I think I need to get a bit more conservative with them. But yeah, first green day bounce on EKSO. And then I'll briefly share a third day surge setup, because I think somebody, one of my subscribers actually was asking me about this one, so I will briefly cover it. I did play this for a 31% gain this week, so really nice week actually. Let's go to the daily chart overall, first of all. So we've got the day one here, nice retracement on day two, and then this is that third day surge here. So let me go to, yeah, this is its day one. Nice pullback, which is what I like to see on its day two. Nice drop in volume. Can see it's a bit of a weird one because, yeah, I suppose, yeah, you could argue actually, and it's not that weird. It's basing on day two. Yes, it's gone down to here, and then it's kind of holding this level for the rest of day two, which kind of matches up with this area, which I do like to cross-reference some area of support from day one. And then this one was slightly trickier because I would have thought this would come back down to test day two's low of day before getting in. But if I just zoom in a bit, yeah, so it didn't actually come back down to day two's low of day. It was holding above day two's close, which is also an area of interest, definitely. And I just had this feeling that it was going to sort of come back down first, and it didn't. So as it got closer to market open, I thought I've got to get in now, and risk off this area here. So I got in pre-market at 8:05, and I wouldn't say, you know, it is tricky trading pre-market, especially when there's not that much going on. And I can understand why people wait for these to open first to get a bit more liquidity, to see what's going on. Because obviously pre-market, it's definitely less liquid usually, and also you've got no stops in place. So this just rips through there, then you're going to take a bit of a hit and probably get slippage on it as well. So different ways you can play these. You can wait till market open, or a bit more action to kind of read what's going on. But I do know this setup quite well, so I was happy to get in there. And as you can see, when the market opened, it just flung out of the gate. So if you wait until market open, you're going to be getting in on this candle. And, you know, I'm getting in at 8:05. This candle's going up to 9:30. So you're buying it probably $1 higher, unless you can get in somewhere down here. So yeah, glad I got in pre-market on that one. And then just sold along the way, basically. Actually, a bit disappointing because my profit targets were, you know, up here, and you know, my best sell was somewhere around here, and then on this pullback I thought it was going to fail, and I actually ended up cutting the rest, and can see it actually reversed and then went up even higher. Would have hit my profit targets well and beyond. I don't mind, because sometimes I see these, they do the move, and that is the move, and then it's done, which is what I thought was going to happen. But often as well, there can be a pullback before they go again. So not quite, maybe I should have held some YOLO shares on it. That's what I should have done. But yeah, that was a 31% gain, so really nice. Other trades that I took obviously this week which were good. I'll briefly show DVLT, but I won't go into too much detail. This was the first green day bounce setup. So here's the run up, multiple days, the pullback, and then I'm playing it on this day here for a bounce, which doesn't look like a nice day on the daily chart. But if we go into the intraday, go on to the 5-minute time frame, this was a bit different because this is a higher float stock. So I wouldn't normally trade high floats, but I just know the ticker and I had quite a good feel for how it can move, and I know that it can move as well. So yeah, I can see it's run up, nice pullback, and it's basing literally at $1. It cannot be more perfect than that. And also dollar area, kind of key area here, and historically I was looking on the daily chart, also seemed to be an area of interest in the last year or so, and could get in, really tight risk. So I got in at like 101, best sell was 120, took a 15% gain on that one. Just show the 1-minute chart. So yeah, that was the first green day bounce there. And just to reiterate on these setups, like first green day bounce, they are very much backside plays. So the momentum is here now. From here, basically there's a likely chance that this is just going to go all the way back down to where it came from. So they are kind of more risky setups in that sense, because you are trading the sort of the tail end of the move, but there is a bounce in it, as you can see. So yeah, they're some of the trades that I took this week. So I'm really happy with this week's trading, and although I'm still trading with small size, I am pushing more size, and I had some really good insights this week just from listening to some trader therapy that Roland Wolf does, just talking about how it's not really about making $100 or $200, or even if your account goes red, it's just about getting that system in place so that you can get the right setups, get the right edge. And then, if I can do this with like $500 on a trade, what happens when I put 50k on a trade? So that is the goal, and that's what I'm working towards. Very far away from it, but the process is there, wins are coming, and I just need to try and scale and keep learning, of course. So thanks for watching, catch you next week.